Investors are optimistic that the Federal Reserve's interest rate rises could have ended. The markets are factoring in a 5% likelihood of a rate rise of plus 25 basis points at the next FOMC meeting on December 12 to 13. Then there is an 11% possibility of a rate hike on January 30 to 31, 2024, at the next FOMC meeting. The Fed is probably done, but keep in mind the long end of the U.S. yield curve. This is where rates could continue to rise. If this does happen, it will have the biggest impact on investors in 2024. The markets are anticipating that the FOMC will start reducing rates by mid-2024. This would be in response to an anticipated decline in the U.S. economy. Stocks closed significantly higher on Friday, extending a huge run earlier in the week. The three main indexes sweep to their highest weekly gains of the year. There is an underlying level of support for stocks earnings. The Q3 earnings season has, in general, been favorable. Of the S&P 500 companies reporting thus far, 82% have beaten the consensus. This is better than the year-earlier figure of 72%. The weekly movements took the Dow Jones up by 5%. This was the largest weekly performance since October 2022. The S&P 500 increased by 5.8%, and the NASDAQ Composite increased by 6.6%. Last week's gains were the highest for the S&P and the NASDAQ 100 indexes in a week, since November 2022. U.S. indices Dow plus 5.1% to 34,061. S&P 500 plus 5.9% to 4,358. NASDAQ plus 6.6% to 13,478. Russell 2000 plus 7.6% to 1,761. S&P 500 sectors consumer staples plus 3.3%. Utilities plus 5.2%. Financials plus 7.4%. Telecom plus 6.5%. Healthcare plus 3.5%. Industrials plus 5.3%. Information technology plus 6.8%. Materials plus 5.1%. Energy plus 2.3%. Consumer discretionary plus 7.2%. Real estate plus 8.4%. Apple's AAPL stock fell 3.4% to $171.60 after reporting decreased revenues. This was the fourth consecutive quarter. There was a 3% increase in iPhone sales, a beat on profitability, and good service sector performance. Investors are not satisfied with the outlook given by management. On the earnings call, Apple's management stated that Q1 revenue will be comparable year-over-year. This is despite the fact that there will only be 1 week fewer than in the previous year for iPhone sales. This is not good enough. Apple is an innovation company. Without progress and innovation, the stock will suffer a contraction in its valuation multiples. For Apple's high valuation, the numbers were not particularly impressive. Poorer than expected October jobs data was released on Friday. This strongly suggests that the Fed's effort to curb inflation and slow the economy is working. This week saw a sharp decline in bond rates, with the 10-year Treasury yield falling to 4.57% from 5.03% in previous weeks. The 2-year T-note yield Friday fell sharply by -15 bits per second to 4.84%. The U.S. unemployment report provided a solid piece of economic data to indicate the U.S. economy is slowing. In October, U.S. payrolls rose by plus 150,000, weaker than expectations of plus 180,000. The October U.S. unemployment rate rose by plus 0.1 points to a 20-month high of 3.9%. The labor market is weaker than expectations for an unchanged rate of 3.8%. Meanwhile, the final October S&P U.S. Services PMI was revised lower by -0.3 points to 50.6. Weaker than expectations for an unrevised report. The PMI reports indicated some slowing of growth in the U.S. service sector. Overseas stock markets closed higher. The Euro Stoxx 50 closed up plus 0.12%. China's Shanghai Composite Index closed up plus 0.71%. Japan's stock market Friday was closed. All the graphs in this video are by BARCHART. If you are thinking of subscribing to BARCHART, my affiliate link is in the comments. Also included are my affiliate links to the online brokers, eToro, First Trade, and FX Primus. These videos give a quick overview of the U.S. stock markets with a couple of stock ideas. Issued on Mondays and Fridays based on the underlying blog. Visit my blog site www.smartestdata.blog. If you like these videos, hit like and subscribe, it really does help the channel. See you in the next video.